Welcome to Steve 87th, Puget Sound and Pacific Railroad.
Hi everyone, this is Steve 87th PSAP Railroad, or Puget Sound and Pacific. This is my channel, and I just wanted to invite you guys to come along and watch as I build my railroad, build up some kits, do some kit bashing, and running trains like the one behind me. So if this is what you guys like to watch, stick around for a while and see if you like the channel. Hey everybody, Steve 87th here. Got a couple of things for you tonight. One's going to be a mail call, and then I've got a sneak preview of something that I've been working on for quite a while now. No, it's not quite finished, but we'll see what I'm talking about in a few minutes. Okay, so first, off to the mail call. All right, so as promised, it's a mail call. So I got a lot of stuff, a bunch of big boxes down there and all that. So let's just kind of go through these, see what we got here. So let's get rid of the easy ones first. Okay, so the first thing I got was a couple of box cars. Yeah, that's what they are. They're box cars, and they're blank Athearn black box cars, 60-foot undecorated. So what I want to do with these is I actually saw a video on my train line, because my train line actually goes from Burlington, Northern Santa Fe, and UP, so it goes on a main line, and it actually goes up to Naval Base Kitsap is what they're calling it now, because they're making regionalized bases. But it goes up to the submarine base that is in Bangor, Washington. So they had some really interesting cars, which I believe that they used to move the missiles and or torpedoes in. So I'd like to see if I could go ahead and remake these cars. And what I'd have to do is move this center door to where this is solid, and then this is actually where the doors are at on both sides. They're on the end. And then they came in really nicely bright colors. And so it'd be kind of neat to have a specialized DoD train that comes along. So I got two of them. This one is just faded yellow plastic. So I got to look for a couple more of those. The other thing that I got my second articulated auto carrier from Atlas. I got this on eBay, but I got that one on eBay too. I think I got those for about $8 to $10 a piece. I got this for like $40. So that was a really good bargain. Had to work a little bit on the mail, because the mail got a little outrageous, but the guy was really nice and we got it all fixed up. So that's my second articulated auto rack car, which will be used for later. The other thing that I got, which I've been needing for a little while, since I'm going to be doing the Pacific Northwest, is a planing mill and shed. Now what's really funny is I'm going to use this for something different. It's not going to be for finished lumber and all that. It's actually going to be for poles. The same sort of setup that they use for planing regular lumber and all that is used for planing telephone poles, and you know, the 40, 50, 60-foot wooden poles that you guys see in different areas. My cat wants to come in and see what's going on with the boxes. So these are actually the right buildings. Are very, very close to what they actually have there. So that'll be kind of interesting. Plus it comes with, it looks like it comes with the vacuum area and stuff like that, and the corner there to dump the chips off of and all that. So that's going to be really interesting. So that's for a later build. I also went a little electronics shopping. So I got myself a little, board, a power distribution board, which is kind of nice. It's going to be two inlets out, and you have like 12 areas out. And why did I get that? Well, I decided to buy some LED lights. So these are the self-stick, and they're also already have the resistor in them and all that kind of stuff, so they should be self-sticking. So they're just the single LED. So I want to see how that works. And you can see that they come in the 9-pad. This came as a pack as like 20 or something like that. It's already got the resistors in them. So that's one of the reasons why I had the power distribution system. I figured I could do this, and maybe I'll go ahead and put some lights in the build that I'm doing right now. So those were kind of cool. That was an Amazon buy. Of course, that wasn't too expensive. I don't know, they were like 8 or 10 bucks. So there's like 10 or 15 of them in there. There's quite a few. The other thing that I decided to get electronically, because I've got to do work on my engines and so forth, and I'm just really tired of having to deal with all the wires that come with the engines. So I got these detachable links sort of thing. You know, they're just plugs and all that kind of stuff. They've got their own feeder wires on them and all. It makes it a lot easier, so when you're working on the engine or something like that, you can just unplug these and then take the shell off and have it out of the way, but all your wires will still be there. And I got these from a lot of various places. All the electronics came from Amazon, and Bella's coming by again. So this was, I've actually been buying a lot off of HobbyLink. I think it is, Hobby Links. So they actually had the conveyor bridge support tower, which is actually supposed to be an add-on for the grain series that Walthers had done. But this was actually still in stock. Apparently this is kind of hard to get. But when I got it, and I'll show you what I've done with mine, I'm like, I don't really need this. So, but it's got a nice little walkway and conveyor and a tower that can be used, so I'm sure I'll be using it for something. Another thing that I got was from Scenic Scale, again from HobbyLink, is this aluminum mesh. Now, I got it because originally I was going to use this for the walkways, and now that I've got it in my hands, I'm really glad that I didn't use it for walkways, because it is very, very delicate, and it is, I don't want to say flimsy, but it's extremely flexible because it's a mesh as it is. So it wouldn't have been a very good, solid piece of material to put in there, but you can see I've already kind of cut off of a piece of it and all that. I have used it already for part of my build. So we'll tell you what that is in a few minutes. Okay. I decided one of the things I didn't want to do was have to deal with making trees for this, so I went and just bought some trees. And these were kind of the closest that I found to the types of trees that are going to be out front on this as per the picture. So I got 2 bags of those. Again, both of these were from HobbyLink. Then I did go and get some, yeah, HobbyLink was most of those things. Okay. I also had to get, oh, cool, those are in there. I had to get some more grain bin parts. Now what's cool about this is Rick's has got the grain bin parts. So what it is it actually gives you the top of a tower, but what I was really looking for are these parts here. These are the parts that are actually used to get the grain out of the bins once they're in the bins. So I needed those so that I can hook those up down on the bottom. Plus I needed some of these doors to get into the bins and all that kind of stuff. So I got about 4 or 5 packages of those. I also got those from HobbyLink. And then I did get some more of the grating, the Tichy Trains grating. This stuff is awesome because it is so detailed and it's so fine. I'll show you what I did with it. But unfortunately, one of the things that I did was I didn't order enough of it. I only got 2 packs. I needed like 6 or 8, six of these packs. So I had to wind up ordering some more, and I'm waiting for more of those to come in so I can finish it, because there's only 2 of these walkways, and these walkways are only this long. And I need a lot more walkway than that. I also got some more ladders. The Tichy Train ladders are really cool with the man cages and all that kind of stuff, so I got some more of those. And then Yankee Dabbler, I got, there's a few things I got from Yankee Dabbler, and I'm trying to figure out what else it was. Oh, the conveyor bridge I got from Yankee Dabbler. I'm sorry. So Yankee Dabbler had that in stock, which was pretty amazing, because like I said, that's that was pretty rare. And the Walthers planing shed I got from them as well. And yes, Vinny, I did use your discount, so that was kind of cool. But there's two other things that I've decided to get, and I got the planing shed because that was actually on a really good discount price. So that's why I got those. The other two things I got, because I wanted to try these, was one from Deluxe. I got this liquid gravity. So this is where, when you've got your cars and stuff like that that aren't weighed enough, that you can put this in, and it's like very fine BB or tungsten or something like that, where you can pour it into the cavities on the railway rolling stock, boats and planes, and then you can fix it in with cyanoacrylic or something like that to give the thing some more weight. So the reason I wanted to get this, some of my, not my grain cars, but my cement hoppers, I did do a bad thing. I glued on all the tops of my cement hoppers, so I can't get in there to fix the weights, but the weights still quite aren't heavy enough in some cases for the cars. So the good thing about a hopper is it's meant to carry stuff like this, and so it would just flow right into the spots where it would need to go. So that was the one thing that I wanted to try, and I got that from Yankee Dabbler. Now the other thing that I wanted to try, because I saw this on a YouTube channel, is this Ballast Magic by Deluxe Materials. Now I was reading this, and what it is, it's a powdered adhesive, right, and a spray bottle. And what you're supposed to be able to do to make ballasting a whole lot easier is you mix your ballast in with this white paste or this white powder, lay the ballast down dry, and then once you're done with that, then you come over and spray it with water, and then it all just seizes up, you know, it just glues in place and all that. So I'll demo this when I get around to doing my ballasting and all. They said one of the cool things about this, when they were talking about it and all, it makes it really good for your switches, because you can get in there close with the switches and you don't have to worry about glue getting into the switch points and fouling that all up. So I'm really anxious to see how this works on ballasting my little setup back there. So, oh, the other thing that I got, sorry. Again, I'm always buying things for the future. And this took a while to get, but you can see the original price on it was $6.25, but it is a logging truck. These are really hard to come by, and people are selling these for like 40, 50 bucks and all that. And this one actually has real wood in it. I don't know why, but it's an old Concours model. So that's kind of cool. It gives me another logging truck. Cause again, if you're in the Pacific, if you are modeling the Pacific Northwest, whether it be the east side of the mountains or the west side of the mountains, we have trucks all over the place that are logging and bringing logs and all that. So in order to do the Northwest right, you have to have at least a couple of logging trucks. Hey, even going through downtown Seattle, there's logging trucks that are all over the place. So it's a way of life out here in the Northwest, so you actually need to have that. So let me go ahead, and so that's my mail call. That's been over the last couple of weeks and all. There's just things that I had to buy. There's still some more stuff coming in that I need to do to finish up my build. So now I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek at what will probably be in the next video. All right, so this is my view of probably the largest scratch build that I have ever had to do. Now, you say, well, it's not that big. Okay, so what the scratch build that I'm talking about obviously is not the bins. I am talking about the conveyor that feeds the bins, and this is not all quite complete yet, but it's very, very close. So this building over here was just tedious because of all of the items that I had to put on there for all those the little stand-up roofing and all that kind of stuff. But let me show you, and my next video I'm going to show you how I built this, but I had to build one first so I knew what I was doing. And what I'll do is I've got two more of these to build, and the two that I have to build are going to be for the two tanks that are over there, and then I actually have to connect this one and a cattail with those over on the other side. So that's going to be a really interesting, fun build, but they're also a lot smaller. So let me tell you a little bit about this thing. This is almost 2 feet long from end to end. Okay, so because this is one solid piece that is 15 inches long, and then we had to make I had to make the other extensions. And there's a few things why. There's still some things that need to go over here to make this all work out. So I had to do a lot of research and figure out what to do. So what I found out is that, see the square tube that's on there? That's actually the conveyor belt. You can see here that I had to put in a platform. There's the motor that actually runs the conveyor belt. Now, this isn't so much a conveyor belt as it's a conveyor tube. So in this tube, they've got these walking conveyors basically that come and push the material along and dump them out, and then they circulate back over the top. So they're fairly high speed, okay? So on my research that I did, the way that these are set up is that they've got the walkway, that's right up next to this conveyor. And so we'll talk more about the conveyor, and we'll come over here to the other side. Okay, whoops, sorry, trying to get my camera going right. So you can see here, this is those Tichy Train walkways, which, like I said, it's really cool because you can see right through them, which is great. Unless you're scared of heights like I am, so I'll never go up on one of these. And then there's actually a handrail on the other side. So you can see here that I had to do a little bit of detail on the return end. And then at each one of these areas, all they do to open these up is they've just got a chute that's underneath it. And the conveyor belt will just drop everything at the chute. But there has to be some place for the missing component of the conveyor to go to. So they usually just push on out into the outside, and I've seen this in a lot of the demos. And of course, it has to have a motor housing or something that's on there. So I got some of these Tichy Train electrical boxes to put up there. So I got those all done, and then down here, that's actually going to be the intake. So that's where the bucket dump will actually dump the grain into and all that kind of stuff to get it onto the conveyor belt. And then we've got the electrical motor that turns the conveyor itself, and then of course the rest of the conveyor that goes around there. And they had to have a place to service it and all. And then the other thing that I found, which was really interesting, and I did not know this because for the longest time I was like, how do they get the grain down there? How do they move this thing around? Well, so what I found out was, since this is just a scraper basically on this, the way that it's done is they just drop it straight down into the bin. So right now I've got these round holes that you can see right there. I mean the round items that are on there. Those are going to be gone. Those are actually how I'm going to put this together so that it stays in place. Because this is really big, and I don't want to glue this all together, because I mean, if you look at how massive that is for one thing, I mean, this is 5.5 inches round to begin with, and each one of these are 3.5 inches round. So I mean, you're talking a 2.5 foot long item that had to be built. But it was really interesting finding out how this all worked and how it was all going to be put together and all that. So now that I've got this done, and now that I know how this works, I can go ahead and build the other two smaller ones. And I'll go ahead and do a build video on that. And now, why is this little tail out here all by itself? Well, that's because the way that this is actually supported, there's two ways that they do it. One is they'll actually build extra supports in the ducting work that you want to call it. I don't know if you want to call it ducting or whatever. And it'll actually sit right on top of the bin. Other times I actually put small towers that attach to the sides of the bins and then hold them up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in a couple of those smaller towers to put on in there so that it's being supported from underneath. Because you can see that I've got the webbing underneath it, got the handrails and all that. So next video that I bring out, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I put all this together, give you some dimensions and all that. I think it looks really cool. It still needs to be painted. And yeah, probably a few little things and all that. I'm not going to put the ducting for the electrical wires on it and all that, but I'm pretty happy with the way that this turned out and how big it was. But let me tell you, not an easy build. So anyway, that's what I've got for this week. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to. Hopefully, I'm going to be getting down to a point where I can start landscaping this thing and finishing off some more items off of it. But until next time, this is Steve87 saying thanks for watching and have a great time modeling.